Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. At the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the sexy fisherman. An old girlfriend used to call me that. And you know what? It's corny, yes, but I'll take what I can get. I've been called a lot of things before, but sexy fisherman has never been one of them. We'll get started with the Daybreak Show, but first, coffee. This is a coffee called Joe from Trader Joe's. It's their just basic house blend, made obviously in a French press. Nice.
My God, that is the best coffee I've ever tasted. Nice.
Doing any last-minute Christmas shopping for people and you're stuck on what to get? Let me give you two ideas. First thing is tear off daily calendars, like 365-day calendars, and they're all stacked. The papers are all stacked like a little desktop kind of thing, and you have one a day to tear it off. Those are great. You can get ones with jokes on them, things that are nostalgic. They have ones from like the TV game show Jeopardy, little quizzes, things that make you think, tips for productivity, things that are comforting, scriptural things. Another great idea for gifts is spices. And I'm not talking about the kind of spices that most people have in their cabinet. Garlic powder and onion salt and rosemary, Italian seasoning. I'm talking about like Indian spices, Asian spices, like vindaloo, garam masala, or Asian 5-spice. I'll put links for them down below. You can become the person that gives people spices every year. Different spices. Keep track of what you give them. They will thank you for it. They'll remember you for it. It's wonderful. Spices are a wonderful thing to do. Another great gift is essential oils. You can get somebody like 5 essential oils, peppermint, lavender, oregano, tea tree oil for various purposes, cleaning, for diffusers. You can buy a $20 diffuser and 5 little bottles of essential oil. What a perfect gift, especially like lavender, because that helps people sleep. Think about it. There's so many things you can do, but you just got to think a little bit. And if you are stuck on getting someone a gift, those are great little gifts. Did you ever notice there's a lot of 70s songs that refer to women as mama? Think about it. I didn't think about it in the 70s, but it seems weird when I look back on, from 2024, looking back 50 years, when all these R&B and rock songs called women mama. And there's actually a few songs from Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, who's the other one? Nina Simone, that call men daddy. And I think that's kind of interesting. Why do you think? What is the phenomenon of calling a woman mama? Or calling a man daddy? What is that? What's that all about? Crazy Latin dancing solo down in Herald Square. Oh, Havana, I've been searching for you everywhere. And though I'll never be there, I know what I would see there. I can always find my Cuban skies in Rosalinda's eyes. Billy Joel, 1978. Boy, that's a great song. Check it out, Rosalinda's Eyes. Such a pretty song. Think how much easier life would be if you just loosened your grip a little bit on everything, people included. How about when the media and government says things like, well, we're not sure yet if it's terrorism. Really? A guy stabs like 7 people. He's of a certain demographic. They are of a certain demographic. But no one's sure if it's terrorism. You dumbasses. This is why you are the new media and are asking questions that traditional radio, TV, and newspaper will never ask. You, sir, are a news production agency, and you have one in your hand right now. It's called a cell phone. Press record. I love it when Father Josiah Trenham was speaking at the some Republican convention or something like that in New York. And believe me, I'm not Joe Republican, but I understand why he went there. And he talked about MAGA. He believes in MAGA. Listen, wait for it. Make America God-fearing again. I can agree with that MAGA. I can. The other one, the other MAGA, that's just an empty psyop. We found that out, didn't we? I'm conducting an experiment. I just ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know the results of which comes first. Just call your representatives, they said. Seriously, who the hell actually thinks that our elected officials actually represent us? That's delusional. They say what they say to get elected, then they say what they say to get reelected. Sir, you need to wake up.
Wake the fuck up.
You know who represents you? You. You are the best representative of yourself. Oh, just call your representatives. Knock it off. Stop it. There's no one that's going to listen to you. Nobody. You are responsible for your life, not a representative. Shame on the cucks who marry a woman with children and don't reach out to the biological father and encourage the kids to spend time with their father and speak good things about the father. Instead, the weak cuck believes everything that the woman says about her ex. Unfortunately, he's afraid that pussy time will get shut down. He's just pissed. Listen, he's probably pissed that he paid full price for used merchandise. Just another day in the life of a cuck. Now, do I know people that are dating or have married women with children? Yes, I do. Are they all cucks? I wouldn't say so. I'll tell you why. I know several guys, literally, that came into the life of a woman, or a woman came into their life, and it's working. They've been married for years, and things work. And the man who married the woman encourages the children to have a relationship with their father. He calls the father, meets him for coffee or a beer. They get along because that man is now spending time with someone else's biological children. Fuck damn the man that doesn't call the biological father and build a bridge to him. That's a cuck. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. How did you learn to eat an apple? Probably by watching someone else, most likely. Did you know that some cultures eat the whole thing and there's nothing left? Like when you eat an apple, you kind of like eat it like you would, like an ear of corn. You kind of like turn it as you're eating it, right? You take a bite, turn it, you take another bite, and then there's a core left. You throw that out. In some cultures, there's no core left. They just eat the whole thing. They will like twist the stem out, wash it, and eat the whole thing. Like there's nothing left. And the way that you eat an apple is because of how you were taught to eat it. You were taught that the core is bad, or that little bit of different texture in your mouth is bad or not preferable. Next time you eat an apple, eat the whole thing. Wash it good, but eat the whole thing. And then get back to me and tell me what you think. Anyone can be on their best behavior for 2 months. Well, strike that. 1 hour. And remember, you can get money back, but you can't get time back. So learn to value your time. Learn to despise people that waste your time. You heard me say that before. You ignored all the red flags, and you paid the price. But you only saw half of those red flags because of your blind spots and thirst. Am I right? You know the 1,000-mile stare that women have? You know what I'm talking about. Read between the lines. That 1,000-mile stare turns into sad eyes as they get older. And I noticed it happens in their 50s. The women who have the 1,000-mile stare, the crazy eyes, and you guys, if you know, you know. Once they hit their 50s, the crazy eyes go away. That stare goes away. And they end up with like these sad eyes. There's like a sad affect on their face. I've seen it 1,000,000 times. And it only happens with single and or divorced women. Happily married women don't have crazy eyes. Did you ever notice that? They don't have those 1,000-mile stares, and I'm not going to say the other phrase. Women do have a tendency to be neurotic, much more than men do. Men act out of fear. Women act out of neuroses. One of the things that cures neuroses in women is regular pleasure. A woman who's not getting it good and often gets very frustrated. That is why there's sometimes hysteria. The quickest way to calm down an angry woman is to tell her, look, you're acting crazy right now. It's probably that time of month. Just calm down. Yeah, that might be the last words that come out of your mouth as like the blender is flying through the air towards your head. But I found that women who are getting, and I'm not talking about porn stars or OnlyFans chicks, okay? Women who get it on a regular basis, or women who are orgasmic on a regular basis, because there are women, you know the top drawer on the nightstand. There are women who take care of themselves, like quote unquote, take care of themselves in the shower or whatever. And that makes a woman be a little bit more normal. It releases stress and endorphins and all that hormonal chemical stuff in the body. But women who aren't orgasmic on a regular basis tend to be a little more neurotic, I have noticed. With men, they get more fearful. Think about it. Men act out of fear. Black Mirror is the most original modern horror-ish series I've seen in a long time. Guillermo del Toro did really well with his Cabinet of Curiosities. There was Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, Hammer's House of Horror, Night Gallery. A lot of these laid the foundation. Black Mirror I like because it includes the dangers of technology, AI, science, has moral dilemmas, and post-COVID collective behavior issues. But who really started it all? Was it EC Comics? Was it H.P. Lovecraft? H.G. Wells? Edgar Allan Poe? Put your answer down below. Horror fans unite. Gentlemen, are you dating online? Are you on an online dating site? Remember that her third picture is the one that tells the truth. If you know, you know. Hanging around gutsy, risk-taking people is inspiring. You will never grow by being with people who always play it safe. Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast, so you grab a piece of something that you think is going to last. You wouldn't know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Steely Dan, 1972. What is the name of the song? Put your answer down below. I'll never forget the first time I heard this. I was in like the mini mart paying for gas. One guy says to another, "You going to play the Powerball on Friday?" Now, this was the other guy's answer. He goes, "Nah, it's only 20 million. Only 20 million. I guess in a world where, these lottery Powerballs and Mega Millions go up into the hundreds of millions, even $1 billion. I guess 20 million is a drop in the bucket, but I never heard anyone say only 20 million. I never heard anyone say only 20 million. Bob forgot his wedding anniversary and his wife was really angry. She told him, "Tomorrow morning, I expect to find a gift in the driveway that goes from 0 to 200 in 6 seconds, and it better be there." The next morning, he got up early and left for work. When his wife woke up, she looked out the window, and sure enough, there was a box that was gift wrapped in the middle of the driveway. She was confused. She puts on her robe, she runs out to the driveway, brings the box back in the house. She opened it up, and she found a brand new bathroom scale. Hold a door for someone today. I told you that this week. When they say thank you, you reply with "my pleasure, have a great day," or "certainly," or "of course," or "you're welcome." Make it a practice. It definitely can make your world a better place. And that's what we're all about here, is making the world a better place and you making an impact in this world. It kind of reminds me of the joke says, hold a door for a woman and you're a gentleman. Hold a revolving door for a woman and you're arrested. That's pretty funny. Well, we have more psychotherapists, counselors, psychiatrists, et cetera, than any time in history. Boy, that's really working well, isn't it? When I grew up, there was one psychologist in the entire school district, and the only counselors were guidance counselors. Any secular attempts to make life better always fail miserably. Just look at the results. My son gets bullied at school, in elementary school. I told him just pop the dude in the nose, and it will never happen again, and maybe you'll end up being friends with the guy. My son replies, he's like 8 years old, he goes, but I'll get in trouble by doing that. So he continued to be pushed around in the lunch line. I basically said, turn around and pop him as fast as you can in the nose. It will shock the hell out of him, and he won't do it again. So all the peace-loving, anti-bullying, kumbaya shit in schools and society, it's working really well, isn't it? Yeah. Common sense solutions, not political agenda, need to prevail. Look at the values and solutions of your grandfather. They made a lot more sense. I will never when I was in school, there were school plays. I was in school plays and musicals. Enjoyed it, loved it. Classic plays, classic musicals. But now, I remember when he was in elementary school, there was a school play on bullying. What the actual? Seriously? We used to go to, I remember I was driving a minivan. That's when I had, like all three kids, taking them to school and whatever. I would take my son to school. And I remember taking him to a father and son breakfast at his elementary school. It was nice. It was kind of like a buffet thing and just kind of a fun thing to do. And I live in an area that is a lot of well-to-do people. And of course, there's like Mercedes and Bentleys pulling up, dropping their kids off. And I show up in like a Ford Windstar minivan. And it was, I don't want to say it was embarrassing, but I thought it was funny, pulling up in a minivan. Then one year, they didn't have the father and son breakfast. Listen to this. They had a father-like figure and son breakfast. And who attended that year with the sons? Lesbian fathers. What? Hey now. You've heard me talk about my concept of constructive discontent, right? When you've had enough of your current financial, relational, fitness, career, or living situation, when you're so disgusted with it that you no longer get depressed or disappointed and sink, but you rise up and do something about it. You create the circumstances that you need to get out of that situation. You start looking for resources and methods to build the ladder to plan your escape and fire your boss. You always remember that day, the day that you turned your life around. A new day is a decision away. A new life is one decision away. Don't know where to start? Book me for a consultation, either a single consultation or a series over a period of time. We'll get you going. Remember, 2025 is the year that you get unstuck. What are you waiting for? And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. You may find yourself in another part of the world. You may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. You may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Talking Heads, 1980. Do you know the name of the song? Put it down below. All right, pretty cool. I was just verified on YouTube, whatever in the world that means. They let me know. I hit in the past week, since the last time you saw me, I hit 275,000 subscribers on YouTube. I never bought one, unlike most mano dorks who are buying 5,000 and 10,000 subscribers at a time, no names mentioned. But, it's a step in the right direction. So I'm just taking the scenic route to 1 million subscribers. My goal is to hit 1 million. Now, I hit 100,000. I got the, what do they call it, the silver play button that I have on the wall behind me when I do broadcasts from the Van Gogh room. The next level of achievement would be 1 million followers. Now, I reached 100,000 within the first year, and then I got throttled. Is it because my content changed? I don't know. I think I've gotten better in time, but I know the videos are not getting out like they used to. I know negativity sells better than positivity. I did a short video last year called Stop Wasting Time on Women Who Waste Your Time. And that got to over 1 million hits within a couple weeks. Literally got 100,000 views the first day. What the heck? And then other videos that I think are much more impactful, much less cynical, good broadcasts might get 5,000 hits. And I scratch my head and I go, wait a minute, I do an off-the-cuff, impromptu video that's a little bit cynical, and it gets 1 million hits in like 3 weeks. What the heck? So that was eye-opening for me, but I'm now verified on YouTube. Like I said, no matter, I don't know what that means. Does it mean I'm going to make more money? No. What do they say? Remember when they used to say, that and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee? I went out to breakfast last week at Nudies Cafe. You guys know Nudies Cafe? There's a couple of them in the Philly area. Coffee was $2.99 a cup. What happened? When I was sleeping, I feel like Rip Van Winkle. Like I fell asleep and I woke up and and coffee went from like 50 cents to $3 a cup. Imagine that. Just a quick word about America First. America First really is America Second. There's nothing first about America First. Seriously, there's nothing American about it. It's America Second. Guess who's first in America? Who has more control over America? Think about it. Who's the real president of America? Put your answer down below. I give blood every couple months through a blood drive. And one of the questions during the initial check-in is, have you paid for sex? Because I ask, have you been vaccinated? Have you had tattoos? Like all these questions. Have you been out of the country in the past 2 months? One of the questions is, have you paid for sex in the past 2 months? And the nurse who was doing the questioning, she was waiting for my answer, and I started laughing. She started laughing too, and I said, what are you laughing at? She says, literally, she goes, I said, what? She said, all men pay for sex one way or another. It was the funniest blood donation that I've ever had. We both cracked up at that. She read between the lines. Have you ever paid for sex? Hey, listen, all men pay for sex. You pay. You pay for sex. I don't care what anyone says. You pay for sex. I've been married for 20 years, been faithful. My wife is faithful. You paid for sex. I married a Christian woman. You pay for sex. She was a virgin when I met her. You paid for sex. We're high school sweethearts. You're especially paying for sex. I'm in a friends with benefits situation. You're really paying for sex. I think it's funny, Candace Owens gets Anti-Semite of the Year. What if someone put out an award, Anti-Christian of the Year? How would that fly? Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have an Anti-Christian award for somebody. Who would get that? Who would get the Anti-Christ award of 2024? It'd be almost repulsive if you did that, right? But you know what? Maybe somebody should. I thought it was pretty funny. Candace Owens gets the award of Anti-Semite of the Year. She says, obviously, I will prepare an acceptance speech for my show tomorrow. I have so many people to thank. Candace Owens. It's pretty funny. She just took it and ran with it. That's how you do it. No apologies, no backpedaling, just a big giant middle finger. Keep it good and never burn bridges. Maybe a couple here and there that you absolutely have to burn. But for the most part, every storm eventually calms down. Not every situation requires amputation and detonation. Just let a little time pass and most stuff does work itself out. Maybe just a little time out or backing off is all a situation needs, and half the stuff that you think is urgent or tragic or time sensitive really isn't. Stop, breathe, and think. You know why you're dying slowly, sir? Because you're doing everything your doctor says. You know who lives? People who rebel. I took a friend to liturgy once, and their first comment was, as they were looking around, was, all the men here have beards. As Charles Spurgeon Famous Protestant preacher says, growing a beard is a habit most natural, scriptural, manly, and beneficial. I like that. So be a man and grow a beard, will you? I've had women say that they admire my beard, literally, in public. Wow, I really like your beard. Can I touch it? You know what that is? That's American Western female privilege. I don't get offended because I look at it like a joke. But does that door swing in the other direction? If I admire something on a woman, can I touch it? How would that go over? I remember when my brother shaved his head. He went from just having like short hair, like a normal haircut, and then he buzzed it and shaved it down to the bone. He said he'd be sitting at a bar and women just come up and start touching his head. And as a guy, it's like, like you're not like I'm not offended at that. If I'm somewhere and a chick comes up to me and says, I really like your beard, you know what I mean? She kind of goes like that, whatever. I'm like, whatever. Try doing that with a woman. See if that door swings in the other direction. Probably not. Let the stories be told. They can say what they want. Let the photos be old. Let them show what they want. The Cars, 1978. Let the good times roll. Hey, imagine if insurance companies had marriage insurance. Would you be insurable, or would your situation be considered high risk? What do you think? These Christ pillars, and when I say Christ pill, guys, I'm not making fun of Christ. I'm making fun of the guys. One guy says, money and being rich means nothing. Only Jesus matters. My response is, ask Jesus to pay your bills and let me know how that works for you. The guys that wave the magic Jesus wand over everything, like they use the name of Jesus like it's some like witch's incantation. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble, in Jesus' name. It's abracadabra. It's Christian voodoo. If you just attach the name of Jesus to everything, all your troubles are going to go away. Guess what? Wake up. See the world as it is, not how you want it to be. Leave your Christian voodoo now. Ask Jesus to pay your bills. Write that on the bill and send it back to the company. Jesus will pay for it. Your power will be turned off. Your internet will be turned off before the end of the day. Well, terrestrial radio may be in the future for the Daybreak Show, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9, the morning drive, contacted by a sports talk radio station. A gentleman who is known, he's an OG in the sports radio arena. Had a great talk with him. His name is Dino Costa. Seems like a good bro. And I would have complete creative control over the content and format, of course, minus FCC regulations. And he was going through his own divorce bullshit, just like all of us guys have. Like I said, he's one of the top sports broadcasters in the country. And there's no other way that I would have encountered him. It's interesting. I know when Robert Kiyosaki was going through his divorce, when his wife Kim decided that she no longer wanted to be married after they became billionaires together, and then he found Rollo Tomasi and The Rational Male, and it helped him. That's how people find me. It's amazing. It's magic. It's magical. It might be fate. I don't know what it is. It might be just an algorithm of your phone listening to you, and then magically content appears. But it's a station out of Utah, out of Salt Lake City. It would be streamed on its own YouTube channel and my channel as well. So we'll see what happens. That was a pretty long phone call. So who knows? Maybe radio is in the future for the Daybreak Show. We will see. And talks are continuing about that. You know what really fucks up your day? Realizing there's 168 hours in a week and how much time you really have to make shit happen and how much time you waste. Just keep that in mind. There's 168 hours in a week. Get out a calculator and start subtracting, like the time that you sleep, the time that you eat, the time that you commute, the time that you work. You are going to be surprised at how much time you have left over. Very surprised. To Christians around the world, one fellow says, I beg you, please stand with us Syrian Christians just once in history. We are being torn from our ancestral lands, our people are being ethnically cleansed, and our heritage is slipping away. Please do not let us stand alone in our darkest hour. Wow, man. That's amazing. Alexander Dugin, man that I admire. If the fate of Syrian Christians given by U.S. into the hands of ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorists doesn't bother so-called Judeo-Christians, then they cannot be called Christians at all. Well, Mr. Dugan, I do agree with you there. Americans think if they don't see it that it's not happening, like the Palestinians in Gaza. If you don't see it, it's not happening. That's a genocide. It's ethnic cleansing. All the denial in the world isn't going to change that. Now it's happening in Syria now. Ethnic cleansing and genocide. Let's call it what it is and who the perpetrators are. Don't fuck around with that shit. Hey, she gives great head. That's good news. Hey, she gives great head. That's the bad news. Because if you think about it, how did she get that good? Here's another great gift idea for those that are stuck on buying Christmas gifts. If you don't have a bird feeder, consider putting one up, even if it's just hanging on a wrought iron shepherd's crook. Don't cheap out on a feeder because you'll go through a lot of them if you don't buy a well-made one. The colors, sounds, and types of birds are just incredible entertainment on even the blahest of winter days. Something different every day. You start giving them names, you'll see the same one show up every day. Where can you get them? You can get them at like Agway, Tractor Supply Company. They seem to have the best choices, although various hardware stores and home stores have those options as well. I don't think as good though. However, bird stuff makes great Christmas gifts. Get somebody a feeder, a shepherd's crook, a 40-pound bag of bird seed, a small size metal trash can to keep the seed in so other wild animals can't get into it. What a great gift. They will thank you forever. Oh, even a book on how to identify birds by their colors and size and such. And you can turn somebody into a bird watching fan. Someone puts a bird feeder outside their window. You sit here in the morning, you're drinking your coffee, maybe you're checking your email, whatever, and right outside the window is a bird feeder. And all your little friends come and visit. It's kind of fun. And it's a gift that keeps on giving. Did you get yourself your K-Bar tactical chopsticks? Reusable, washable chopsticks by K-Bar, the same company that makes K-Bar knives. These are incredible. I'll put a link down below. The K-Bar tactical chopsticks. You get 2 pairs in a pack. I think you'll like them. And if anyone tries to pull any shit on you, don't forget, they're tactical. And with that, finish your coffee and I'll see you on the next Daybreak show. Who knows? Maybe one day it's going to be out of Salt Lake City. We don't know, but we'll find out. Keep me in prayer about that, if you would. Show your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.